Thanks so much for listening. Today, it's the Stupendous Marriage Podcast. I'm Stu Gray.
Hey, I'm Lisa.
Sex at the InLaws.
You were excited about this post, weren't you?
Is this a good idea? What is it about trips that, puts you in like a state of mind? It's like, hey, we're in a different place. Hubba hubba. Hello. How you doing? How you doing?
Yeah, especially for you. I don't know. I was going to say men, but I'm not sure that's the case.
No, obviously from this art, see, you have to go check this out. There are just as many comments on this blog post from women as there are from men.
That's good.
Yes.
That's just not what it is for
How
me.
you doing?
Yeah, I hear you.
So, Julie, it was literally, you travel during the holidays, and the weirdness that comes from being in your family's house and, somebody gets in the mood. Well, do you go through with the deal or not?
Deal or no deal? Well, she said, especially, her thought was, obviously, some men probably feel this way as well. But, for us girls, we were told if you were sleeping in the bedroom that you grew up in, right? That was the bedroom that you were like, no boys, no boys even go into that room.
Right.
And then now you've got a boy in your room and you want to do that, that
and
can be kind of awkward.
From the boy's perspective, he's like, yeah, I'm in the room. Sweet.
I made it.
Woohoo. I mean, come on, we're a married couple. It makes sense that that's what would happen in a healthy married family. Yes, exactly. And her point here, which is really interesting, is, in different cultures, there are families that live under one roof.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people in our culture that do that now because of the economy. There's multi-families.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the stigma of, making lots of noise in one room while somebody's sleeping next door to you, I guess could be going away possibly. I mean, there's still a lot of weirdness to it. But
I was going to say, think about that for just a minute.
Oh, I know. But I mean,
if you were the person in the other room with not making the noise and somebody was making noise, that would just be weird. Wouldn't that be weird?
Sure. Yes. Sorry, I was going to a weird place, but I won't go there. Yeah, but she gives ideas and thoughts on how to have the nookie while you're at the in-laws if you decide to go down that road. And there are a lot of people who have. There are stories of people who do this. I'm telling you, there are people and people who do this.
I know. You're trying, honey. We've already traveled this year, so
I know.
I know. You're rooting for something.
I'm out of luck. Yeah. So for this year.
One of the things, she did have some great tips. So if you are going to do that, do keep in mind a couple of these things. Keeping the volume down. You can't, yell and scream like you can normally in your own house. You do have to think about that your mom or grandma or your sister or whatever's in the next room. Mm-hmm. Be sensitive to their clothes or to their sheets and stuff.
Right.
Because sometimes it can get messy, and I thought that was very funny.
Well, see, it just, once again, it goes down to conversation again. There's a commenter here who says, yeah, well, we had to stay on my parents' bed, and that was just, we decided away, that's weird, not going to do that.
Well, and something else she talks about is if you can't do it in the bedroom, right, maybe you can go in the bathroom and take a shower together. Or...
How you doing?
Or something like that. Figure out a way to make it a priority. And if there's just no way that it can happen, being intentional of being intimate right before you leave and knowing when you're getting back that's going to be a priority, I think is
Julie
really
writes
good.
to Christian women, and so her perspective is writing to wives. And one of her last point, just funny, made me laugh. You could be a goodwill ambassador. You could make your husband so happy on the trip and bring in the love.
Sacrifice,
right, exactly.
Well, she said, call me crazy, but offering yourself sexually to your spouse could actually help them tolerate your parents more during visits. I thought that was a great line because I'm like, wow, I had not thought about that, just really making a point of, because can be stressful, being around people you're not around a lot.
Exactly.
And then there's the expectations.
And for guys, the stress factor, a good stress relief is, having sex with his wife. It really is.
You're so bad. I knew you were too excited about this article. So anyways, it was really good. It was a really good conversation starter to really think about that before you're going, so the expectations are set. And
having a conversation when you're there too, you know what I mean? If you're uncomfortable with it, figure out another alternative or pre-plan and post-plan, to be intimate on both sides of it so you guys can reconnect. Once again, sex is a good connector and, one of the best So it's just something. Why are you smiling at me? I'm trying to not be, I'm trying to be good about this and helpful.
I know.
Not just drop hints.
I know. You just like to talk about it. So anyways, definitely check it out.
I do like to talk about it. If I could talk about marriage, sex, and God for the rest of my life, I'll be happy. Nothing to say about that?
No, I got nothing.
It's time for us to go. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on the Stupendous Marriage Show this week.
And we want to continue to hear from you. Questions, comments, concerns, just anything you want to share, we want to hear it.
And the best way to get a hold of us right now is on Twitter @StuGray. You can send us a message there. We'll talk to you next time.